Good day, everybody. My name is Eric, and it's journaling time today. For today's prompt, before I get into it, I need to kind of make a clarification in this between fulfillment and pleasure. So today's prompt is going to be revolving around the idea of fulfillment. In our world today, fulfillment can be easily confused with pleasure. So pleasure can be things that we want. I want a new car. I want to go to the amusement park. I want to buy these things. And there's nothing wrong with that. But pleasure, if it's in terms of buying something or something of that nature, pleasure is not going to be the same as fulfillment. But pleasure is not necessarily sustainable on a daily basis, for the most part. Pleasure is something we may work towards, we may want to get every now and then, and that's what makes it even that much more potent, is when we're not getting it every day. You know, I remember a question when I was in a philosophy class one time. If you went in a booth that was nothing but pleasure, and you did that every day and every waking moment, that would cease to be pleasure and it would become actually a torture, possibly. So you get the idea. So fulfillment is something that when you do something, you put your time, your energy, your experience, your thoughts. Either it could be in helping something, it could be in building your house or your backyard or something of that nature. What fulfills you? Now I'm kind of leaning on not a short-term fulfillment, I'm leaning on more a long-term fulfillment. So for the younger people or the students, the fulfillment may be, I want to do well in school, or I want to feel fulfilled in how well I'm doing in my studies, or fulfillment in, am I making the right decision? If you happen to be a little older or have a career, is your daily activity, your work that you do, whatever it may be, in terms of maybe a product or an educator, whatever it is, how does that align with your fulfillment? Do you walk away feeling good and happy regardless of the quantity of the paycheck? This is kind of how we're separating the two. So let me give you a couple examples. There have been recent businesses that are changing their mission statement from just clear profiteering, we need here to make money, which is what we've heard probably most of our lives, to yes, we need to make some money, but I also want to have a good working conditions for the employees. I want the employees to feel good about the products they're making and the services or the services they're rendering to their customers or clients, because that makes them more fulfilled. Or on even a deeper level, the products, services, and activities are helping either people, animals, environment, or the global community. So an extreme case of fulfillment could be like a nonprofit. People who are there just to help other people. They're still getting paid, but somehow they're feeling good, that wasn't the correct way to say it. They are feeling good about their energies that they're putting into it because it's doing a greater service beyond just themselves. Fulfillment, not pleasure. Nothing wrong with pleasure once again, but we're trying to get into what fulfills you. And I bring this up because in today's world, it's so easy to be consumed with the pleasure mindset. I need to get this thing. I need this new TV. I need this new car. I need this new whatever it may be. And that's what I think is going to make me happy. The biggest one is going to be accumulation of incredible sums of wealth. That's going to fulfill me. But in reality, a lot of people who win the lottery, things like that, they end up losing it because there's financial reasons and mindsets for that too. But they'll find that the money comes with the whole burden of other things they couldn't foresee until they had the money. And it doesn't necessarily make them fulfilled. Not saying having money can't make you fulfilled. That's not what I'm saying. But fulfillment isn't necessarily covering your pleasure senses, is what I'm trying to point out. So for today's prompt, what makes you feel fulfilled? Or what kind of activities would make you feel fulfilled in the long game as you progress in life? So this could be a career, this could be something like that. And if you can align, and this is maybe for the younger people, college, high school-ish, when you're thinking about what fields of study to pursue or what careers to pursue, if you can align the monetary side, the basic living side, because everybody has to cover that. We all have to swim in society to make a living, to be able to support ourselves, food, water, shelter, etc. But if you can also align that with a fulfillment angle, then you're really doing really well. You're setting yourself up to have a very full, fruitful, satisfying life. And there's been many people in the world, and we see them, on stories and books and TV shows and movies and even on social media, that were doing extremely well in their career, making a very good living, who ended up just stopping that way of life, doing something completely different for much less money, but the fulfillment went right up. Because as you get older, these things become more and more important. You want something that resonates with your soul, and a lot of times, and I know I'm speaking personally, it's in helping people. This is one of the reasons why I'm an educator. Making these videos on journaling, the experiences and the benefits that I've learned is what I'm doing in sharing these videos. Yes, I'm trying to make a monetary side to this as well too, but it's also fulfilling sharing this knowledge. And one more little thing, as an educator of knowledge, the knowledge isn't just mine. This is something that has been shared for thousands of years, since the first Homo sapiens were on the planet, and even sharing the first ways to make fire, whatever information it was. We've all benefited from the accumulation of knowledge. I get my knowledge, I get my own perspective on it, I amalgamate it, and then I share it to the world. That makes me feel fulfilled, because that way I know I've given back, as well as it makes me feel good about maybe putting a little bit of extra knowledge on it to give to the next generation so they can move forward as well. This is how I see fulfillment for myself. So for today's prompt, what makes you feel fulfilled? That's what we're going to go in. But before we go into it, let me just remind you, please like and share. We're really trying to build up the subscriber base, so if you can, subscribe. And if you need a journal, please follow the link in descriptions. We have 4 flavors, and if you like any of them, they're in the intro of this video. You can see the different flavors there as well too. So let's get to work, people. Okay. So, oops. As usual, let's put the date. Today is the 1st. Hi, Wiley. Everybody say hi to Wiley. And the time for me is 12:44 p.m. And the mood is, I'm going to put fair today, right in the middle. Location, I am home. And just as a reminder, these little prompts that I'm just filling out in the journals that Moral has provided for this channel, these prompts are already built into it. So it's already set up for you, which is really nice. And if you're new to journaling, we remind you, don't worry about what to write, just keep the pen moving. Don't worry about format or spelling, just fill up the page. And you don't have to follow the prompt, but these are good ways to start exploring different angles, not of just journaling, but really an exploration of yourself. Enough talk. Remember, enjoy the process. See you at the other end, everybody. Okay. One page, everybody. I hope everybody was able to finish. And I hope that while you were going through this process and writing and thinking about it, that maybe some ideas started coming out. And maybe you didn't, and sometimes when you journal, it doesn't mean you're going to get the answers. A lot of times it doesn't happen. But you may end up asking yourselves questions or go down a series of questions that broaden the issue in your head. So it's like, oh yeah, I didn't see it that way. Once that happens, then in the back of your brain, the subconscious starts processing it, and then over time, you may get answer. So if this is coming out, let's say, a little unclear, which it's totally understandable if it does, come back to it in a few days. You know, do the same journaling session again, the same prompt, excuse me, and see what comes out that time. In my humble opinion, we all need to meet a basic necessities of life to live and survive. That has to be met. Now, if we can meet those while also fulfilling our desires and needs, not only for ourselves, but for our family and maybe even others or other beings, whatever it may be, then you're going to start getting a much more rich, resonant life on multiple levels. Personally, I feel this is the kind of thought process that we all need to start considering, because a lot of the ways of life that we've been indoctrinated by, right or wrong is irrelevant, in terms of what we see as being right or how we live, are coming into question now, particularly with a lot of the big emergency issues that are becoming around the world. We have to rethink about why we do things. Just because it may be legal or something like that doesn't mean we should necessarily do it. And a lot of it has to go with, in my opinion, of wanting to just make money for the sake of making money at any cost. And the climate crisis and the pollution and all these different things that are going around the world are bringing these two in opposition. So we have to think about what fulfills me and how can I also live and also do something that fulfills me. And in my opinion, when you do something for other people, other beings, the environment, even if it's your personal environment in your neighborhood, your community, the beach, picking up trash, things of that nature, you're not only giving back to other people, but you're giving back to yourself as well too. And that can cause a lift in spirit, even if there's no money attached to it. That's how I see what fulfillment is. And this could also be, you're an actor, you love what you do, you're a musician, you're a writer, whatever it is. If you love what you're doing and you're fulfilled, that's good. Hopefully it's a developmental process and not a recessive one. You can get the idea is what I mean, because in life there's always two sides to every coin, to every idea. Anyways, fulfillment, what makes you feel fulfilled, that was the prompt today. I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. And remember, enjoy the process. Take care, everybody.